How's it going? This is Rick at Ralph, and today I will be showing you the pin variation of the Queen's Prince opening, which is H5, pawn to H5. The reaction I'll be showing you, there's a few variations they can use, but today we're going to cover the classical defense, which starts with them pushing their center pawn right here. They're pretty much just preparing to stop a swing, get some center power. Usually this is the sign of the lion system too. So we play bishop to d7. And the reason we do this is to stop this king's prince pawn from advancing the way it would like. And we do this to also pin this pawn. Now your opponent might try to harass your bishop. Don't be alarmed by this. Really, they're just pulling their line to one side and making it easier to predict them. The best thing to do is just go right here. And if your bishop gets harassed further, just for sake of argument, you can just protect it with this pawn. And this is a common move anyways, because you need it to be able to get your elephant out smoothly. So that you're not really giving up much by protecting the bishop like this. Now, I would like to note that you do not want to bring the bishop all the way back, because if black does this, he might be able to exchange his cannon for a bishop at an opportune moment, and it could get kind of tricky for you if he has some, the cannon has some targets to hit. So the normal response in the classical variation is to play camel to J9. And the idea is they want to fork your camel and your pawn. We saw this in the video on the two bishops opening, but in this opening we're not going for that, and we're not even set up for it. Actually, if we tried that in this position, we would end up down a tempo at least. But there's a few ways to react. Today we'll be doing the classical response, but there are several other variations I will show you in future videos. So the idea, this is the advanced variation, and this is where the camel comes in and just tries to stake claim. The reason the camel does this is to discourage the bishop from going back, because now if the bishop goes back, it will create a fork. So we just go backwards, and from here black tends to push this pawn with the idea of bringing this prince up so that we can pull this camel back when necessary to push the pawn. Let it be noted, since we have a high eagle in this position, and I did this to demonstrate an attack that happens on the wing. When we have a high eagle in this position, it's not so bad having this pawn backwards, but you don't want to leave it backwards too long because you do need it for later. So from here, white will usually try to bring out the center, and we're also trying to look at castling one day. This is the two prince variation, and this is the classical variation. I'm sorry, right here. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring the lion here, and we don't really care about blocking the bishop because the bishop has a nice job over here for now. And we're just trying to keep the camels out and try to make his camel look a little bit awkward. So this is the variation I'm recommending for the classical. From here, black is going to just keep up with this development and probably bring his camel back soon just to have a square for it. So white is now trying to castle. We've gotten a little bit of center space. You don't want to get too greedy because it is hard to fight for the center anyways. So we're going to try to find a way to develop this bishop smoothly. One method is to play for a fianchetto, and this is just fine. It works pretty well when this bishop's receded back, but I don't particularly care for it, only because it kind of opens up your castle position a little too much. So one way to deal with this is actually to bring your lion up first, and we're just trying to kind of clear the way to backswing this bishop in an odd manner. We're doing this for extra safety in our opening. So from here, black is really just wanting to keep expanding. So, but to do that, it needs to bring the camel back, and now black's plan will start to come to light as well. From here, we're going to backswing the bishop. and then black will bring this pawn upward, and see we're starting to bring out the center. Know that any moment camels can come out on either side. That's just a common development move, and it creates some critical threat. So just always keep that in mind. That occurs in a lot of openings. You're just going to see camels come out at random moments, and you just have to handle them tactically. You should also keep when the camel first comes out, it's not such a big deal. But once that camel is out, you got to start paying attention to your board and making sure that the camel cannot break through. So from here, what we're going to do is just bring this bishop up to g3 and just get a bishop break going. Eventually, we'll probably have to move the line out of the way because at any moment, black could go here. This blocks in their piece, so this is a disadvantage kind of, but black might still do it. It's good to just have your line out of the way in general for that particular reason. But in this opening, you probably won't see that just because of the specific way the pieces are. Now we see this 4-pawn attack. This is a common theme. This is really solid and holds the center tightly and will allow not quick development but smooth development. You'll have lots of space for your pieces. So from here, the king's just trying to castle, and this is just because white wants to have a faster center development, center expansion, I'm sorry, and to make up for the lack of expansion compared to black. But white has better development, so that's going to help out because black wasted these camel moves, and this is the core idea of the classical, is to make him waste these camel moves. Now keep in mind, black could not move the camel, but it's not in the spirit of the opening, and you'll get a much different opening from that. Generally, white won't even play the same way if the camel does that, so it's a much different opening. We will cover that in a further video. So from here, we just develop, keep our center going, and white is going to want to start developing. This is a good time to throw a camel move in just because both the princes are out. So if black doesn't pay attention, this could be a nice point for a camel to start attacking right here. So, and another point is this camel has already decided its path, so this square is a little bit harder to protect. As we've seen in other videos, one good reaction to this is just when this camel comes out, just to push this pawn. So from here, black just really wants to get things rolling. So one good method is to get one of these bishops developed, which is why we go here anyways. And we're just trying to find a nice square for this bishop. This would be a nice place if we had the swing ready. Of course, white could stop this, but he doesn't have to right this second. So from here, white just expands outward. We just keep these 3 pawns back, and that's the core of our strategy. We just want a nice, safe king, quick development, or smooth development, and just kind of push for the center from here. Black could try to play here, but this would be a mistake because white would just hem it up. So what we do is just take more of the center, and black's just really trying to push this center out because white's had some making up to do on time. So white will go to I5, and now white has a 4-pawn front. Always a good thing to have in Metamachy. And black right here might try to push if he could just get the push in. He needs just a little bit more power and he can do it. So maybe I'll show this move. This puts a lot of pressure on this file, so now black is ready to expand, so white has to make a decision here whether or not to keep the bishop out. And it's probably better that he does because otherwise the bishop's not looking too hot. And from here, this can go a lot of ways. Probably actually one of the better openings is just better variations just to push, and this cuts out a lot of counterplay with the camels, and it will allow his camel to become more effective. This is just a basic outline of this opening. I'm going to cover the other variations in following videos, and then I'll do a grand recap to kind of get into the finer points of these variations, which somewhat go hand in hand. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.